Hey, what's up? Lex here from the Lifestream. I'm here with Force Stealer, also from the Lifestream.
Hello.
We're going to do a kind of slow analysis of the latest trailer. We're going to go through the trailer and have a look at each thing that we see, little things that we notice, because we're both well versed in Seven lore in the game. So we're going to have a look at it. We're going to see different things and see what we see. We have already looked into this video. We've had a few days to digest the new trailer, to watch it a few thousand times.
Yep.
So let's just go ahead and have a look at what we see. So this text, let's start here.
Okay.
They're using the font Trajan Pro. No, I'm kidding. It is the same kind of text we've seen, so it'll be interesting to see if that makes a return in the next trailer.
Right. So it was in the first trailer, right?
It was, yeah. And I think they're quite clearly aiming that at the viewer. Obviously they would be, but it doesn't say anything about the story. It's always like the return draws closer, or
Yeah, they're talking to us.
yeah, the last one was the legendary becomes real. So they're keeping that theme active. Development footage subject to change, I'm sure it will.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Coming in on this angle is fun.
Yes. It's very interesting as well, because obviously you start from the perspective of this in the original game. You're staring at her. So
Oh, yeah, right.
I wonder if this is a lead-in from the
Coming
intro.
from the sky. Yeah, like coming from the stars.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Ooh, yeah.
And here we have Aerith. Okay, so this is our first opportunity to talk about her. So people have pointed out that she has these new kind of buttons. This is looks like a leather jacket.
Yeah. I like the gold bit.
Yeah, the gold star. It's a nice detail. It's a nice additional detail. I was wondering if you could see, like, if we go back a bit, you can look at the ribbon, but can't see any materia in there. Can you?
No. That's a good point.
Our hair's great. Our hair's fantastic.
But
People are saying as well that our necklace is a new design, or at least it says differently.
yeah, that little flower. Look up her original art.
I don't see much of it's not a massive difference in detail. It's just a kind of additional detail.
Oh, yeah, okay. It was just like little hanging strips originally.
Yeah.
So we just added a little flower. But yeah, her hair looks really good. Like at the end of Crisis Core, it's just a ribbon around her neck. Choker.
Let's continue on.
Yeah, her bangs don't peak quite as high.
Which is
As
welcome.
even they did in Advent Children. Yeah.
Yeah, it's welcome because it looks a lot more natural. I think it looks a lot more natural. I think it was a really nice touch as well, her having her eyes closed here. Because they've always made such a big deal about Aerith's eyes. Like, particularly in Advent Children, they talked about like not wanting to show her eyes
Yeah.
until the very end of the game. And obviously they're kind of mimicking that slightly with this trailer, where they're like, we're not going to show your eyes at the start, even though that's...
Yeah, and they always have kind of like that, the PS3 tech demo, I remember, when they just showed the bottom of her face.
Yes, exactly. So additional details are the buttons. They look pretty realistic. Those weren't present in the original design. Well, there were 4 buttons going down, the left and the right. People have made points about the dress as well, but you can't really see that here. So
Yeah, we'll talk about it later, but
she's so pretty though. Look at this.
I know.
So we move on to what we assume is the first train segment, the opening of the game.
Much more armored troops this time.
Yes, and they're active. They're not just standing up against the wall waiting for you to go in. Steal potions off them. So what can we say about their design? It's similar enough to the original, but obviously massively updated.
Yeah, a lot of extra armor. Still using those. It's like their guns are basically the same that they were in Crisis Core and everything.
Yes, but it's even from the previous trailer, their helmets were a lot wider at the ears in the previous trailer.
Oh yeah, and they were a darker color too.
Yes, they were. I like the detail of like the Shinra logo on the shoulders.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I like that the tonfa or billy club or whatever, that's stuck since the original designs. Like that hangs from their waist.
Yes. Have they ever given us a purpose for these 3 red lights that are on their helmets?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't. It's the two in front of their eyes. What's the other one for?
Exactly. It's just like a design decision. Eh? Maybe it's laser target or something, I would assume.
Yeah, or like sonar or radar or something.
So we're assuming that this is the very opening of the game.
Yeah.
So
Here's where the Buster Sword clips into his shoulder.
is this where it clips?
Right when he pulls it off his.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me confident that this is gameplay footage, though, which is nice.
Yes. So now would be a good time to talk about the materia, which we can quite clearly see here. If this is the opening of the game, it differs from the original because he has two. So
It seems like at some points in this trailer, it looks like you can only see them from one side of the sword, or are there 4 slots? I don't know. I'll point it out later when we get there.
Yeah, I mean the
But
angle, yeah, you can kind of see it reflecting at certain angles and others not so much. But we'll continue on for now. So he should have two there, but he only has one. There's significant motion blur in this trailer.
Yeah.
One of the things is that we're going through this is the YouTube version, so there's some compression issues as well.
Barret's just running by them there. And I guess that is that the guy that got knocked over in their original attack, I guess, on the ground?
I think so. I think it must be. I mean, this is definitely like the opening of the original game, isn't it? Because we've got the train here, we've got Barret here, and we've got the fight against the two enemies that opens the game.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. So next scene we have Guard Scorpion firing off some rockets.
Yeah.
Does he have an attack like that?
I don't think so.
What has he got? He's got search scope, tail laser.
Just where he pokes you with the tail.
Yeah, a regular attack.
And the machine gun.
This is a new attack. It's got some rockets.
Well, they go really far. I don't... I'm not... Is he shooting at us? I don't know what's happening.
I wonder if this could be like a kind of stealth segment or something. Like maybe it detects you from further away. Or, I mean, if it's following from the initial game, it obviously activates after you tinker with the reactor or you set up the bomb on the reactor. So it will probably be deployed at that point, and then as you're escaping, you maybe have to... There's maybe a segment where he's chasing after you or something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
It gives a...
That new threat mod kind of does that, where you fight it a second.
We can talk about the HUD, I guess, at this point as well. We're in control of Cloud, and we know this because he's the larger one at the bottom. Because, as you'll see later in the trailer, when there's 2-3 party members, the large one at the bottom is the person that is currently on the screen.
Okay.
So at this moment in time, when these rockets are being fired off, this must be mid-battle, and we're in control of Cloud.
Yeah, maybe it just cuts to like a little scene, I guess, when he uses this move for the first time, maybe.
On the left, you can see triangles punish or squares attack, and circle opens a command menu. Commands menu, I've noticed now, has these 2 blue bars underneath it.
Right, and presumably they're the same blue bars under his name.
Yeah, that would make sense. I don't know if command menu maybe opens the more traditional menu. This seems to be similar in style to Kingdom Hearts, where you have, and later we'll see as well, the L1 lets you switch to your shortcuts. So I think right now this view is the shortcuts, where triangles punish or squares a bit.
Or this is just normally up, like that's a normal attack and a heavy attack. L1 could be your shortcuts. Its circles might be where you get to magic.
Yes.
Or other things.
Yes, I think that's likely.
But yeah, like what's he shooting at?
Bam. So we're blowing up the edge of the reactor, maybe?
Yeah, a little collateral damage for their security bot.
Debris. I'm going to flip back. Did any of the HP change? No, it didn't. None of the HP changed. Although their MP looks to be low. No. It's not their MP, so...
Yeah, there's the narrow bar.
Yeah.
Under the numbers, probably MP, and we're still not totally sure what the yellow bar is, right?
I think that might be limit, but I don't know.
Right.
Okay, so the infamous hair tonic poster can be seen in the next scene.
Did someone say that was from Crisis Core or something? Is that where they said that was?
I think somebody said it was from Crisis Core. I'll look it up. But yeah, I think that's quite neat that that's there, because it's only there for a few frames and then it's gone. So we have Barret, Big Swedge and Jessie making their way across here. You can just see Wedge. I think it's funny that
Yeah.
he's not featured at all in this trailer.
Yeah.
This is all you see. Big's here, and there's obviously Jessie. So what point of the game is this?
I like the machine pistol she has on her.
Yes,
Belt.
in the holster. It's pretty cool looking. Do you know what point of the game this is?
Where they're running off separate from you.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of implies the second one. Well, no, but that's when we jump off the train is how they're separate.
I mean, this is either the very beginning or it's the second bombing mission. I'm inclined to believe that it's the very beginning, in the run-up to the reactor exploding, or it's afterwards.
Right. Okay.
Oh
yeah.
The two stations being Sector 8 and Sector 5. So this is saying that like these two trains go to these places.
Right, and you get off at the Sector 8 station for the first reactor.
Yes. I'm not sure where to place this moment. I mean, I suppose it's not all that important. We know that it's like from the first few hours of the game, but...
And 1:13 a.m., I assume. It's probably a 24-hour clock.
Yes. What reactor is it they blow up at the very start of the game? Do you remember?
1.
Yeah.
Sector, or the reactor 1, it's midnight on the train, right? Or like 12:35.
Mm-hmm.
It's when the train ride back, I think they're saying.
And the second mission is the Sector 5 reactor.
Yes.
So...
Oh yeah, so they do leave it up. It could be either one of them.
It could be either one of them. I guess it's not all that relevant, but it's a neat detail. It's just so we can place it. So let's talk about Jessie. She's very pretty.
Yeah.
Let's see Jessie from the last trailer. I think there's been quite a significant change in her design. I mean, it's not huge.
Yeah.
But her hair's slightly different as well.
Your hair looks... Well, I mean, I guess the first trailer was pre-rendered. Her hair's a little less detailed now.
Yeah.
But yeah, face is definitely different.
She's looking good. And I think, for me, similar enough to her original concept for me to not be annoyed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Roberto Ferrari is still credited. And this
Right, and I wonder if that's because of their outfits, because it doesn't look like the outfits have changed at all.
That's right.
And I know that's what, like, for 15, Nomura designed the characters, but Roberto Ferrari did all their outfits.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be that again.
What she says here is have fun.
Right, and I think in the Japanese one, it's slightly different. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's not good luck in the reactor or something. Like, she says a couple more words.
Yeah. And one of the things that people have said in comments, I've noticed, is that all the lines that are here are directed at us. Which,
Oh, even in this?
yes, all the lines that the characters say are directed at the people that are watching. I don't really know if I believe that, but at the same time, there's a few lines that are like, okay, that could be talking to us, and this is one of them. It's pretty cool. We then move on to what we assume is the end of the first reactor mission.
Right.
Where we would normally have a 10-minute time limit, but here we have 19 minutes and 8 seconds, which I am assuming...
Presumably it's 20 minutes.
Yeah, starts at 20. I like the detail on the timer. There's...
Yeah, I love that it's still those two...
Yeah, the tubes of light.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And it's a nice blue colour as well. I'm assuming the destruction that we see on display here is post-battle with the Guard Scorpion.
Right.
And that the destruction is because of the Guard Scorpion. I'm not sure there's any way for us to definitively know that.
Yeah, although, and maybe if that's the case, the timer is 25 minutes or something, because presumably it takes longer than a minute to beat it.
Ah, yeah. That's
Unless maybe you fight it before the timer starts.
That is a good call.
Later, the way it cuts, it's the tail laser and then it's the bomb going off, but who knows how they're jumping around for that.
Exactly, yeah.
Still love the way the light dances off the Buster Sword as he moves.
Yes,
Sorry,
amazing.
What we can say.
And this is another screen where you can see you can quite clearly see the materia in the sword, so that's cool.
Looks like one again.
Mm-hmm. Do you recognize where this is?
I mean, it looks like he's headed to the elevator.
Yes.
But I know in the game there's a little reactor thing in the way of that.
Yes.
But it could be that.
This is either the little kind of door-looking thing where the save point is.
Oh, yeah. Could be that. Although I don't see a ladder. Oh, there is a ladder left.
There is a ladder. There's a ladder over here too. So they might have flipped it a bit. But this ladder doesn't seem to go up. So,
but it does. Yeah, I don't know.
it's either that or it's the elevator at the top. Like this could be
Right.
him going toward the elevator.
Yeah. Okay.
So as he's hanging off the edge here, this scene, I said this when we were doing our short analysis after we watched the trailer, but this scene to me is very reminiscent of the part where Jessie is stuck.
Yeah, you walk on the where you walk on the pipe and then go up a little ladder.
Yes.
You talking about that part? Yeah.
Yeah. That would make sense to me because there is like this kind of ramp like structure at that point too.
Mm-hmm.
It's either that or it's no. This is definitely the first reactor because we have the timer. Yeah, this is reminiscent to the Jessie scene. He still has the one materia that you can see, and you can see that one is absent. I think later in the trailer you can see that he has two.
Yes, definitely. When you're fighting the down below, is that where we were before?
That's the question, isn't it? Because we don't know if this is. I would suspect because of the destruction on display that this must be after the guard scorpion fight.
Yeah, I mean that debris could be what falls from the ceiling when it shoots all the missiles.
Yes, that would make the most sense. So we cut to a scene with Barret. Cloud now does have higher HP.
Yes, this has to be, and Tifa's with them, so this has to be the second.
This has to be the second one, yeah, and this would make sense as well, I think, given that, well, they're on the train tracks, aren't they?
Yes, I didn't notice that at first, the first couple times I watched this, but yeah, I think they're in the subway tunnel.
So
this could be right after they jump off the train.
So this is the subway tunnels right after they jump off the train. That makes sense. I don't remember these robot things being in the original game. I could be wrong, because you can see these flying.
Yeah, is he jumping or is he flying? I'm not sure.
They do mention. Remember in the original game, there's a dialogue that says before the robo guards come.
Oh yeah.
It would make sense to me if these were the RoboGuard. I mean, we know that RoboGuard is an enemy name in FF7, and it looks different to this, but that would make sense to me. So, like, I suppose a bigger thing to talk about, actually, is that we're in control of Barret.
Right. It's exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Again, because we can see at the bottom right that he's kind of the larger. So when you switch characters, it must, like, flip this around on the right, the HUD element on the right.
Right.
And he has his backblast attack and commands menu. Cloud's is called Punisher. So
right.
Cloud had Punisher on triangle and attack. So I don't know if that will be some sort of like combo element.
Right.
We might have a square triangle scenario.
Or just as simple as heavy and regular attack.
Well, Tifa's in the party, which is huge.
Yep.
Annoyingly, we don't see
hide her on screen.
Yeah. Why hide her off screen? You're showing her in the party, but you won't show her on the screen.
It's a tease. Yeah, and looks like Barret's normal little attacks do like little damage, but I guess just rapidly.
Yes. Yeah.
They're all single-digit damage.
Mm-hmm. And there's some critical markers, I think, as well, aren't there?
Oh yeah, there's one.
Critical
3 whole
damage of 3. Love it.
And he ends this bit by using backblast, right? Yeah, it looks like it's just been pushed now.
Yes.
Sort of highlighted there.
Yep, you can see it being pressed on the bottom left. It seems to do a bunch of attacks. Or maybe that's it going off there.
Yeah, it looks like it shoots out of every barrel at once, maybe.
Bam! I love how
15 damage.
15. I love how his weapon glows at the end as well.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
It's like on fire.
That sleeve going up his arm is interesting.
This one.
Like that it's not just gun and then skin, which I feel like it used to be.
Yeah, I think they're trying to cover up the gruesomeness, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty cool detail, though. Barret's whole design, I really like it.
Yeah, I really like it too.
It's quite similar to the originally. And we also have graffiti on the wall here that says "Keep Out."
That's a weird thing to write in graffiti.
Yeah, I think people have been talking about that because they're like, "Oh, keep out." Just some environmental stuff.
Right. Wonder if you can still go the other way in these subway tunnels and fight the infinite Cinder troops.
Yes. What do you think about... So now that we're on this screen and we can see 3 characters, right? Mm-hmm. We have 37, 45, and 35, assuming this is MP.
Right.
Right. Do we think the orange bar is an MP bar?
Or is it a limit break bar?
I would think
that little lavender bar would be MP.
Yeah, that's what I would be inclined to think as well. We haven't really talked about these blue bars.
Right.
I think they are... I've read a theory, I should say, that the blue bars, like, so each character has a tier of limit breaks in the original, right? So you've got, for example, on Cloud, you've got Braver and you've got Cross Slash. Like a desperation attack, if you like, would be Braver, and that would use up one of the blue bars. And that Cross Slash used the limit bar or the whole 2 blue bars.
Okay.
I guess it remains to be seen at this point. What are your thoughts on that?
Right. Yeah. Maybe limit is whatever your current one is, but as you get your old ones, you can keep using them, and that's what costs blue bars.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So here's where he uses Braver.
Yeah. So.
Well, his limit bar is full here, but I don't think it goes away after he uses it.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of new stuff on this screen, which I love. The first thing that I love about it is that you can quite clearly see that if you press L2, you switch to Tifa, and if you press R2, you switch to Barret, which is something that since we saw the first kind of gameplay trailer in 2015 December, that was my dream. I was like, that's all it needs if it's going to be more action oriented and you're only going to control one character at a time. Just allow us to switch the characters with the shoulder buttons, and that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy about that. And
especially, like, I just keep, like, Red, how different the combat will be between different characters.
Yes.
Yeah, I imagine Yuffie jumping all over the place, and, yeah, Red all tooth and claws, however he uses his hairpins.
Yeah, that would be, like, I mean, that's the dream, isn't it? So that's so exciting. So are we, see here, I'm wondering, we must be in the shortcuts menu.
Right. It's weird that it shows that when you're already in it, but I guess so.
Yeah, and we don't know if it's like you press it and you go into the shortcuts menu, so that seems to be very Kingdom Hearts-like.
Right, it's because this is where you set the shortcut menu, is Kingdom Hearts 3 specifically did that.
Yes. The blue bars that each character has are shown here as well, just underneath, because you can see that this is Cloud's here on the menu and he's only got one left. Right, so he's already used one of something. This is also when he uses Braver, but note also that his orange bar is full at this point.
Right, but it does. As I recall, I don't think it goes away after you use it, but it might cut away pretty quick.
Let's.
Now there's a flip in Braver.
Ooh.
Oh, that's really cool.
It is really cool. Using it on a defenseless guy that's lying down as well. That's and down he goes.
618 damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, the limit bar doesn't disappear. Neither does one of the blue bars, unless Braver had already been pressed, and that's what took the first blue bar.
I suspect that's the case. I suspect that the button had been pressed, and that's what's eating this blue bar down at the bottom right.
Right.
Note his HP is much higher now as well.
Yes.
So has he what? He's gone up a couple of levels since, because we know that this is the second mission.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and Tifa seems to be a lower level than the other two, because this is her first mission.
I mean, in the original game, you'd maybe go up 1 to 3 levels between the first and second mission, but it wouldn't. It wouldn't quite, shoot your HP up by that amount, because he's gone from 900 to 1,595.
Yeah, that's true.
Very interesting.
Well, I also didn't. I mean, if you go back a bit, I don't see any materia in the sword this time. And assuming it works like before, materia lowers your HP. So if they unequip materia, his HP would go up.
By that much, though? Is it not like 5%?
Yeah, I have no idea. And it could be that they're in there and it's just they're deeply inset, and so you can only see them when you're looking dead on the sword. I'm not sure.
It could be the angle, because I don't know if you can see. I don't think you can confirm one way or the other if the materia is in there or not. So yeah, that's an interesting scene just for the HUD elements alone.
Right. Now, better look at Big's new face. He's more anime, I guess.
Yes, I would say
His hair more like yours, actually.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I really like Biggs here. I think he looks really cool. He's obviously very different from, well, not very different, but he's quite different from the last.
Yeah, definitely noticeably different.
He's noticeably different from the last trailer, and I would say he looks actually quite, like, a bit closer to his original concept.
Yeah, he definitely looks more like the original.
Yeah, he looks really cool. Those are ammo refills he's got on
Yeah,
his
I think
shoulders.
they're magazines. Yeah, pretty thick. It's just a big bullet, or it could be double stacked, I guess.
My
If he
God.
has that same machine pistol.
Yeah. And then we get our like full sort of portrait shot of Barret from the side.
I think it
I
looks great.
love the way he looks here. It's amazing. Like you can see his eyes through the glasses.
Yeah, very cool.
His hair looks really cool.
Yeah, very close to the original. His hair.
It's very close to the original. He obviously has some different design elements as well compared to his original costume, but it looks really cool.
Arms are still enormous.
And
like those, the scars under his eye, I know they're definitely in his original design. I can't remember if they were in the last trailer, or even are they in like Advent Children Barret and stuff? Yes, they are on Advent Children Barret.
So they're in Advent Children Barret, and they are in the original trailer as well, like the last trailer. Sorry.
So they have stuck to that. Yeah.
Right. In terms of detail, I don't think there's much to say about this specific scene. So, but what he does say here is,
Your next move, boss. That's easy enough.
That's easy enough.
That's easy enough. It says, what's our next move, boss? And then Barret says, that's easy enough. Tim Rogers, who did the kind of jokey mini retranslation, Barret just says, stick to the plan. Which makes more sense.
Yes, it does. Well, because I mean, this seems pretty clearly after they leave the first reactor, like where Jessie blows the hole in the wall and
Yes.
Wedge's backside's on fire, and so this is before they split up. In the original game, someone asks about. No, they don't ask about money yet. Cloud starts to. Barret tells him to shut up. And yeah, so Barret says, "What's split up and go back to the hideout."
That's right. Yeah. And I think you're correct there, because I think you can even see the stairs here.
Staircase, right?
So this might be the stairs where you go up and come round this structure.
And then that's where Cloud runs into Shinra troops.
Yes. Well, that's where Cloud runs into
runs
Aerith.
into Aerith first, yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, so these two scenes are actually pretty close to it.
It seems that way. So then we do have Aerith right here with our absolutely beautiful eyes.
I know. They look more Mako eyes than Cloud.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because her eyes are so bright and green. And it's like that's a mark of someone who's been, touched by Mako or whatever, or marked by the Mako. Or Mako, I should say.
Yeah, no, I normally say Mako too. I try to keep it very official on these things.
Keep it canon. I mean, we're in a very obvious place now. We're at the moment where Cloud and Aerith meet each other for the first time. Interesting is the change from, Aerith offering the flower for one gil.
Right.
She just gives him the flower, which, that's an okay change. No one's going to complain about that.
Right. Yeah, and I mean it's we don't know how this scene can go. Maybe there are variations to it, which would be cool.
But here, in point of fact, we see Cloud's eyes as well, and they aren't as shiny as Aerith's, which...
Right, you'd think they'd be just as... They're blue, obviously, instead of green, but...
Yeah. Like, what is that? Why is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to determine what color they've officially made his sweater here. Obviously, it's not bright purple, but is it still a purplish?
Yeah, it looks a bit more blue than purple, doesn't it? But maybe in the light, it just, because it's in shadow most of the time, maybe we just haven't really seen it properly yet. But yeah, I was hoping for OG purple.
Right.
That's what I had my fingers crossed for.
Because they've had, I mean, Dissidia and Super Smash Brothers has been OG purple.
So she's here. She's got her little flower basket, which is very pretty.
And her wrist bangles
and her wrist bangles, yeah, which are close to the original. Obviously redesigned, but they're still close enough. This is also the first time we get a proper view of Cloud's face full on. You can clearly see that he's been redesigned from the last trailer. He looks a lot healthier, a bit fuller in the arms, less sinewy.
Yeah. Yeah, he seemed like dehydrated in the last.
He did, yeah. But so there was an argument that he looked better with the sickly look, wasn't there? Because it's appropriate that at that point in the game, if you know what happens to Cloud in the lead up to the game.
And I really wonder if CyberConnect 2 was doing that intentionally, or that's just what fans came to describe, to explain why he looked that way. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it definitely looked unnatural, and I think the other characters that we saw looked pretty normal in comparison. So
Yeah, that's true.
to me, it did feel like a very intentional thing. Whereas now, like I have no complaints. I love the way he looks here, but it does look pretty healthy compared to because
Yeah, true.
people do comment on it. People comment on it in the original Final Fantasy that it doesn't really look well. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, especially with the non kind of shiny eyes as well.
I like the retro car in the back there.
Yes. Yeah. Because it does have this scene in the original game does have that kind of noir feel, doesn't it?
Right, yeah.
The background.
40s kind of cars.
Mm-hmm.
There's another. Can't see the materia in her ribbon there.
Yeah. Flip back a bit. No, you can't see it. Very interesting.
Now the ones in the Buster Sword are pretty tiny, so maybe it's just real small in there.
Oh, it could be in the ribbon, yeah.
And that looks like the theater behind them.
Yes, it does, but you can't really make anything out, can you? With the
Right.
But we know exactly where this is.
Focus change.
Mm-hmm. So the flower, people.
Their discussion about it on the forums were fun.
Yes, so there have been discussions about this. If you want to join in, hop onto the Lifestream.net forums. Do you remember the name of the flower?
Well, the one people were thinking it was the something loose strife.
The something loose strife, yeah.
Right.
It's a specific kind of flower. Square are normally quite, detailed and specific with their references, so it could be, but it's a fictional flower.
Right.
Like, it is a fictional flower, but it does look very similar to one that's called the something loose strife.
Because it does also look similar to just a lily, which I think they were lilies and Advent children that were on the floor in her church. And lilies are like love and funerals and stuff, which applies to Aerith, of course.
Absolutely. So it's all very thematic.
But yeah, you'd think his eyes would be so much more blue there.
I know, it's mad, like how... Because his eyes look pretty normal, don't they?
Yeah.
Interesting. So then we cut to Apps.
Oh, he looks so great.
Apps looks so good. Apps is obviously the boss that you fight in the sewers with Tifa and Aerith after the wall market segment of the game.
Right, after Don drops you through a trap hole in his room.
Yes.
Or trap door, rather.
So this is the furthest we've seen.
Yes, definitely.
Apps looks great. Like, it's pretty similar.
Yeah, long gross tongue. Yeah, he's got the hooves. And the glowing horns are new. They look cool.
Yes, very, very Midgar sewage. It's like, this is what Mako does to a sewer rat.
Yeah. Ninja Turtles enemy.
Yes.
Yeah, so I like how it seems like it surprised them, because that's what happens to the game. Aerith says, well, at least the worst is over, and then it roars. She says, well, maybe not.
Yes, exactly. And that's such a great
moment. Because he looks quite surprised here, Cloud does.
He does, and I love how expressive their faces are.
Yeah.
And look at his face here, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, and then like gets real determined as he wrenches the sword off his back.
Yeah. But there's still some fear in there.
Yeah. It's really good. And yeah, I love how you can tell he's taken his normal battle stance that he stands in.
Yes. It looks so cool.
Oh, and yeah, I didn't notice Aerith's staff was here before.
Yeah, she's got the staff.
And here's, if you want to talk about the different dress now.
I was about to, yeah. So this is probably a good point to talk about that, because you can see that it kind of fans out from the waist.
Right.
In her original design,
kind of clinging to her hips before.
In her original design, it's a pencil. Like, she's wearing a pencil dress from top to bottom underneath that jacket. It's a small change, but it's significant, because the dress that she's wearing in this trailer is a bit more flowery, a bit more floral, a bit more open.
Yeah, probably be easier to walk in.
Easier to walk in, and easier to jump around in combat in as well. I think.
I think, because this is obviously right after the Don Corneo segment, I think it was Tetsujin who asked, like, will they still just spin around to reveal their old outfits? It'll be interesting how they go from their dresses to their normal clothes.
That is a very good point, because here we are in the sewers, right after Don Corneo dumps them in the sewers.
Right.
And at that point, they were all dressed up.
Well, they reveal to their normal clothes right before they interrogate him.
Yeah, maybe they must just burst out, like.
But yeah, like, does he just? Because how does where does Cloud put the Buster Sword and his armor when he's in the dress?
Why is Cloud not wearing makeup right now? Like,
Yeah, that's right.
this is the question. Oh yeah.
But yeah, or will all their dresses be breakaway and they just like pull it off?
But yeah, this is a really cool moment. I love this moment. So
Yeah,
the dress change is probably better from a practical point of view for Aerith,
right.
and we love how expressive their faces are. Oh my god, it's great. And it's so cool to see Aerith in combat as well. Like,
I know, yeah.
for the
And
first
yeah.
time in like how long since the original
Yeah.
game?
yeah, true.
Because although she's appeared in other stuff, and she was she not an assist character in Dissidia?
Yeah, she was assistant to Cydia, but I think she just cast a spell.
But
I don't know.
this is OG Aerith standing there with a staff, ready to kick some
Right.
ass. Like, come on.
And yeah, it's nice to see some stuff outside the bombing missions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we're not in the bombing mission anymore. We're slightly further on. Cloud now has 2,000 HP, so we are further in the game.
Tell if there's materia in the sword here or not.
No, you can't really see properly. I think you do see it though if you continue on. We've got Aerith in the background.
Yeah. She's. I wonder if I know we discussed this some, like if that's actually spells, like materia spells, or if her attack is she's just gonna have an attack that launches little magic things off of her staff. DLC.
So you can see her swinging the staff in the background.
Yeah, and then this little magic ball comes off of it.
Yeah, you can see the rod glowing. And she does throw like a magic ball, and there's kind of runes inside the orb.
Oh yeah, I didn't see those before. That's cool.
There's runes inside the orb. Someone did point out that this is very similar to the effect that her staff makes when it connects with an enemy in the original game.
Yes, you're right. I did see that.
Yeah, so that's a really neat touch.
So yeah, maybe they just gave her a range attack, so she doesn't have to be up close.
One thing we haven't talked about and I haven't really seen anyone cover is these kind of little soundbar elements.
Oh yeah.
That are on. These seem to be on the active character, so I don't know if it's just a further indicator that is the active character.
Yeah, I don't. What else could they be?
Yeah, because they do appear like every time on this bottom one, whether it's Barret or whatever.
Sahagin looks great.
Yeah.
Look at that sparks when he hits him.
Yeah, that's the Sahagin from.
Yep, and they also looked the same in Third Cerberus. Their little tridents.
They did. They look really cool. Okay, so moving on to the sweeper.
Right, and so now he still has 2,000 HP. Cloud does, and Barret is over 2,000. So where is this? Is the question.
Okay, so originally when I first saw this scene, I thought that it was the second reactor mission.
Right, so did I.
Because it looks like that big area that you go to in the second reactor mission. You know,
where you go
with
down,
all the
where you go down
ladders
the
and stuff.
Slide. Yeah.
Not that one. The one before that, where like you climb up a pipe and then you're in a kind of big open area where Wedge is standing.
Oh right.
Over to the west. So I was like, that could be this. Now that I'm looking at it, I think this could be Shinra HQ.
Yeah, I think so too. But that's pretty farther along. But I guess you wouldn't gain too many levels between there. I'm not sure.
It's either that or it's the tower.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that, but
it's the area to the right. I'm struggling with because it looks like a car park or a building, and then obviously you've got the stairs on the left.
Yeah, and then it looks like a building under construction in the middle.
Where do you encounter sweepers for the first time?
They are in the second bombing mission, not the ones with these rotary saws. They just have machine guns. But
yeah.
In fact, you might even run into them in the first one when it's just Cloud and Barret.
We have Cloud, Tifa, and Barret.
Right.
We have Cloud, Tifa, and Barret, but we have Cloud with higher HP, so that's probably... But
Cloud actually has a little more HP here. 2074 versus 2007.
Yeah, maybe we're putting a bit too much stock in the HP, but...
Right. Yeah, they could be all from different dev.
Or it could be materia difference.
Right. Because this is not yet where you clearly see the two materia. I love the guard, although I don't see a button indicating that. They must just tell you how to block.
What's that on the right? I see.
Screens of...
Screens of something.
Yeah, jeez, what could that be?
I mean, could this be the pillar?
I guess it's possible. It looks quite a bit different if so.
I would say it's either the pillar or it's the second bombing mission.
Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, it was just very different lighting if it is the pillar. Barret gets owned over here.
And you can see that whoever's playing this is hammering the attack button.
Right.
So they're pressing square, 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 square. And he's
It'll be interesting to see how long... Oh, here's Big Shot. Yeah, how long the combo is, and if it gets longer like Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, it will be interesting to see that.
Also, some people have... You can't really see it here. Some people have pointed out that Cloud seems to have a device on his back. Yeah,
yes,
right there.
I do see it. That's it there.
Like, the first time I saw a clip, I thought it was the rotary saw clipping through him. But no, there's definitely something on him.
Yeah, and Barret has a similar one, doesn't he?
Yeah, and what on earth could that be?
It could be like a grappling hook or something. Let's see if we can see it on Barret. Yeah, you can kind of see it on the back of Barret there.
Yeah, and it's definitely... They didn't have it in the other sequence.
It's probably plot related. There it is. In some way related to the bombing mission. It might be the trigger for the bomb or something.
Yeah, and that... Yeah, okay.
Wait,
And a little targeting reticle.
definitely looks like a grappling hook of some sort.
Right, on your back. Which that could also imply the tower, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is Big Shot, isn't it?
It's... Yeah, I mean, Backblast has been hit, but this looks much more like Big Shot than... Because I'm pretty sure you used Backblast in the last time we saw you controlling Barret. Oh, it's so cool. And then the delay before it detonates is nice, too.
Yes, and these enemies are the...
Crash strikes, which they're way bigger than they... Yeah, they're way bigger than they were in FF7. They were like little grasshopper things.
They look so creepy. They did literally just look like bugs in the original game.
Right. But yeah, and they, I think Shad pointed out that how they use silk to inflict slow, and all the silk in the background here on the walls.
Yeah. I was that actually made me question where this was the first time I saw the trailer, because I was like, I don't really remember there being like a...
Yeah, I wondered briefly as with the creepy creature. It's like, is this after Genova breaks out of the Genova building? But no, I don't think
it's like some sort of demon lair. Like, what is this? But but no, like, I think going off of HP theory, this is the second bombing mission. Yeah. But the crash strikes, can you encounter them during the second bombing mission? I thought they were
in the
5 enemy.
They're in... I think you run into them in the subway tunnels.
You do.
Originally.
I
Yeah.
think you do, yeah. But yeah,
Look at like it's just a huge nest of them back there or something.
Yeah.
It's gross.
So where is this, do you think? Do you think this is the subway tunnels, or maybe one?
Yeah, maybe like a service area off the side of the subway tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
I love the delayed detonation.
Wow.
And it seems to do several hits of damage. 244 and 484.
That is neat. Really cool. He does have an empty limit bar there.
Right. I know. Mr. Ite pointed out how all the stuff on the floor moves away from the explosion.
Yeah, it's good to have things that interact with the physics. So this is now switched to Cloud.
But definitely the same area.
Yeah, same area, same segment. I'm flipping back and forth and checking their HP. Yeah, same segment, same enemies. It looks like. I don't know if this is like a mini boss, because it's pretty detailed for like a random enemy.
True. Oh, this is cross slash, right? Again, Cloud's
love the detail.
Limit bar.
Yeah, that's a good point as well, because his limit bar is full in the previous one. And so Barret used what looked like Big Shot, and the yellow bar is gone, but the blue bars are full. And here, Cloud definitely uses cross slash, and the yellow bar is gone when it was full before.
Right.
So that might be confirmation that is a limit bar.
Seems confident to me.
It could be. But my favourite thing about this is the detail of the motion blur on the way he swings his sword.
Oh yeah, look at that.
It's so cool.
And the way it draws the cross slash kanji is very neat.
Look at
like the way it looks like a calligraphy, like Japanese calligraphy.
It's amazing. It looks so good. I cannot wait to get like a really ridiculously high quality version of this.
I know.
trailer.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't uploaded one yet. And yeah, and the way Cloud shifts his weight around, and there's the very clear shot of the materia
Yes.
in the next frame.
But you can see 2 materia in the sword.
Right.
So, where did the second one come from?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because before, when you see the materia, you can only see one materia, but it's not just the angle. Like, you can see through the slot
Right.
to the back of Cloud. It's a very small detail, but you can see it. I'm hoping that, like, the materia slots are visible on other weapons as well.
Right, yeah, I hope that's like, especially later weapons where you have lots of slots. I always want, like, will they change the way they, instead of all oriented in a line, maybe you could get like the 10-2 garment grids, which could make for cool linking opportunities, but
Yes.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
And then if you link the materia, like, will that have a visual cue on the weapon as well?
Yeah, like a light goes between them maybe or something.
Yeah, like, think about the possibilities. It's so cool. I'm slightly worried though, because I love this detail that we've got 2 materia slots in the Buster Sword. The Buster Sword has always had those 2 materia slots. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about other weapons. I think they might downsize the number of weapons you can have for each character, because to put all that detail on every single weapon a character can have is like...
Yeah, it's true, yeah. And now, especially weapons like the Buster Sword being so iconic,
Exactly.
they want you to hold it for longer.
Like,
Or they'll
look
let you-
how
or they'll
cool
let
they
you
have made the
upgrade it
Buster
or
Sword
I know.
over the
They
years.
really have.
In the original game, the Buster Sword was just like the first sword, and then you moved
Right.
on, and you were quite happy to move on. But now it's like you want the Buster Sword. I remember I modded the PC version of Final Fantasy VII to swap the Ultima weapon with the Buster Sword model,
Oh, yeah?
and I was like so happy with that. I was just like, yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah, maybe you'll be able to upgrade it or add more slots or something to use it for longer.
I kind of hope they don't go down that road. Even though I love the Buster Sword, I kind of hope they don't do the kind of upgrade the Buster Sword rather than just giving you a whole new weapon.
Yeah, I'd be okay with it if that's not the only like the Buster Sword's his only sword. Like, 'cause I could see them, maybe doing it just Buster Sword until you get the Ultimate Weapon. Now they have used the Ultimate Weapon in Dissidia and stuff, so I would think that still exists.
Yeah. Oh, Cross Slash looks so good.
I know, yeah, like it looks so much better than it used to.
Does that
And it
outright
was cool
kill
before.
the enemy? Can you see the enemy after that happens?
Well, it does 751 damage.
Right, so this is I think
I guess every hit does damage. It looks like.
the enemy just outright disappears. I think after it, yeah.
Actually, there's 2 damage here: 751 and 155. Again, does it just destroy it?
It doesn't look to be there anymore, or no, maybe it is, and it's just blurred out
Oh yeah, there's a piece of it.
or fallen to the side. Yeah. Moving on, we have Guard Scorpion.
Attack while the tail's up.
What can you say about the tail?
But
Iconic batting
yeah, like,
blade scene.
he looks kind of damaged now in the front. Guard Scorpion does.
He
on
does,
his
yeah.
fin.
That's a good point. I hadn't noticed that. Yeah, he's got a bit of damage to his front and to some of his legs.
Because I wonder if this tail is going to be, maybe this is how the battle ends. Maybe it goes to a cutscene and it starts firing its laser at things.
Yeah, very well could be.
More good facial expressions.
Yes. And the laser. I love this detail where they're running out to the side to avoid it.
And it looks like it hits the reactor here. I don't know if it does, but it blows up whatever's behind them. Yeah, like that's the reactor. That's where you put the bomb.
It's like, have you set the bomb off, guys? Is this them going, oh shit, we need to run?
Yeah.
We need to get out of here now. Yeah, 4.
Because then it shows this. And so who knows how long that cut is.
It could be forever.
Well, now time for your controversial part.
Yeah, so...
But yeah, but what is... I don't know what's exploding here. Like, I don't know if this is directly coming from the last scene we just saw or not. Because this is like cement falling.
That's right. So we see a bomb go off, right? So we assume it's the reactor bomb, and then we assume this is just some reactor debris from the stone flooring or ceiling or something inside the reactor. It could be any number of things. This could be the pillar, but
Yeah, who knows?
there's no real way to know. But given the lighting of the scene before and then this, it could just be the first reactor mission.
Right, but does this mean you don't get out of the reactor before the bomb goes? Maybe this happens if you lose.
Maybe. And then obviously we go straight to this, right? So let's assume the guard scorpion uses its laser. Maybe it doesn't set the bomb off, but it causes an explosion. And the explosion results in debris. Now, there is the moment in the reactor initially, like in the original game, where Cloud has a flashback.
Right. This isn't an ordinary reactor.
This isn't any ordinary reactor, yeah. And it's obviously like a flashback of the Nibelheim incident.
Right.
But this moment right here, where we see Sephiroth from the back, to me this is controversial. They've made such a big deal in previous interviews that the original game, like, Sephiroth was such a successful villain because he was this looming presence. You didn't see him, and you didn't know really anything about him until like quite late on. Do you know what I mean? He's not in it from the introduction of the game. So I'm like, okay, you can tease him like this from the back, whatever. I do not want them to be showing Sephiroth all throughout this game. I'm a little bit concerned about it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, well, I said on the forum, it's true that there is, for us in the real world, there's no mystery left about Sephiroth because he's in everything. Even people who don't play the game know what he looks like and what he does, or didn't play the original game. So it could just be that they're like, well, I could see them just not showing his face or anything. Because I mean, look how and this could still definitely. I mean, they're surrounded by. It's not in Nibelheim, but Cloud is all alone here.
Yeah, I mean that hair is ridiculous as well. Look at that.
Right.
And there's no Masamune here that I can see in this scene.
Yeah, I can't see it either.
I can't see his sword, so it's...
Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly confident he's not really there, wherever we are.
Yeah, I think if this is the first reactor... I mean, I've seen speculation that this could be Nibelheim. I really don't think it is. I think this is Cloud's mind.
Right, yeah, just the heat of all the flames around him makes him think of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this looks like the marking on a road or something.
Yeah, it does, which wouldn't fit the reactor either. But there is the part where he hears Sephiroth's voice in Sector 6 after the plate falls.
Yeah, it could be that. It could very well be that.
Because that's where he says, "Course through my veins course the blood of the ancients."
That would actually make the most sense for this scene, even though we are just off the back of seeing Guard Scorpion blowing something up and then the bomb going off, which is all reactor related.
Right.
It would make sense if this could be moment.
Debris of the plate falling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it would make sense if it was that moment. That's now the new headcanon. Well done, Force. So that makes the most sense. What is this I see in the background? I can see something there. Do you see that?
Yes, I don't know what it is.
It looks like a human person.
Is it Barret or someone behind him?
Or a poster or something. Yeah, it could very well be Sector 7 plate falling.
Of the sweaty face.
Yeah, it's such a good detail. I mean, this is quite clearly CG.
Yeah.
This part.
Yeah, and all the facial expressions he goes through there.
Yeah, fantastic.
Like confusion, scared, angry.
So good. And then we're back to this, with our more to come in June.
But yeah, so I get what you're saying about Sephiroth. It would be cool if that happens there where we think it's happening, and that's all you see, and you don't see him again for a long time. Like, that could be enough of a tease, I think.
Yes, I agree.
To please both schools of thought there.
I agree. I think the music, we'll quickly discuss like the music in the trailer.
Now, when we watched it originally, you guessed maybe Hurry or Hurry Faster. The more I hear it, the more I think you might be right.
Well, I feel like that. I still feel like that. Like, I still feel like it's one of them. Or it's a variation.
I think it sounds a little bit more like Hurry Faster to me.
Yeah. It's got a bit more of a melody to it than Hurry Faster.
What's our next move, boss? That's easy enough.
But it's obviously an original piece of music as well for this.
Right.
Rather than just a remake of something.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of that there will be.
Exactly. So, like, I don't think there's a whole lot to say about the music because we don't actually know if it is like a cover of a Seven song. It might just be inspired by one of them. But yeah, it seems to be an original piece of music. I don't really feel strongly one way or the other about it yet because obviously we only hear a bit of it.
Yeah, sounded like trailer music.
Trailer music. It's just some trailer music. What about the voices?
Yes, the fact that they all seem to be different.
They all seem to be different.
Bo Billingsley, Barrett's English voice actor, has confirmed that it's not him.
Yeah, he's saying this isn't my voice.
Right, and George Newbern is being real coy about it. about Sephiroth's voice. And why would he be coy about it? That's what really doesn't make sense.
People in general seem to be certain that it's not him.
Right. I don't think it sounds like whoever's doing it is trying to sound like him, but it doesn't. Like the way he says Cloud is very much the way he says. But yeah, if you're not in it, there wouldn't be any contractual reason that you couldn't say that you're not in it.
Exactly.
So yeah, but he says and then someone asked him what that means, and he did a sunglasses emoji. Like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah. So the voice actors that we know have voiced these characters before are confirming nothing.
Right.
So,
Except Barret. But yeah, why would the trailer have placeholder voices? I don't get it.
Oh yeah, maybe they were in a rush, and maybe that's not the dialogue in the final game, and they just wanted to put a trailer out that, like, maybe the theory that person had on YouTube was correct, where they were saying that the characters are speaking to us. Everything they say is directed at us, the audience.
Yeah, but the lip sync matches, which is amazing. That's what the thing that made me think the game is further along, is that they have the English and Japanese trailers have different lip matches.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't have any complaints about the voices they showcased in this trailer. I know some people had issues, I think, with Barret, but...
Yeah, I don't have any strong issues. It's just interesting that they would change.
I really like Cloud's voice, in particular.
Are you okay?
I don't mind Aerith. I think Aerith's voice should be, like, a little bit deeper.
Yeah, they've always done that.
They've always made her, oh my god.
Yeah, like, I mean, because I remember, like the infamous Mina Suvari performance in Adventure. I remember when they interviewed Mina Suvari for Kingdom Hearts 2, I think, and she's just talking normally. I said, look, Mina Suvari's normal voice would have been perfectly fine for her.
Yeah.
The reason it was so bad is they made her talk so high.
Yeah, they kind of need to make them sound breathy, don't they? It's like, there's no need for that. Like, we don't need them to sound that young. Right.
Like, it was okay in Crisis Core because Aerith is 16 in Crisis Core, so that's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
But she's 22 now.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Here, this is for you.
A flower?
But I can't tell if that's her voice from Crisis Core either. That's the one that sounds most similar, but it could be anyone. Who knows?
I think it's a new voice actress, and I think that's not Steve Burton for Cloud as well.
Yeah, no, his voice is way too high to be Steve Burton, I mean.
Yeah, but one of the things I've said is that, like, that voice suits Cloud.
Yeah, it caught me off guard when I first watched the trailer, but yeah, I think it's perfectly fine.
I quite like it, and I've gone on record saying that voice suits Cloud more than Steve Burton's ever has, for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not to say I don't want Steve Burton back, because I think Steve Burton could pull off Cloud. It's just Steve Burton hasn't played proper Cloud yet. Steve Burton has played mopey compilation Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not who Cloud is, really. So
right,
it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, it would come down to the direction. I think Steve Burton could absolutely do it if he's directed right.
Exactly.
So yeah, of the changed voices, I would be most bummed about Barret because Bo Billingsley is a very good actor, famous for Jet in Cowboy Bebop, who has Jet is kind of similar to Barret in his, like, heavy history and stuff. So I would like Bo Billingsley hasn't had much to work with in Barret in the compilation, so it would have been nice to see him get the more meaty stuff.
I think we'll end there. Really excited for more of this in June. Less than a month away now. We've got that FF7 concert.
I'm so curious to hear what the plan is with the stupid parts. And
I know. I want to know. We fans want to know. So I'm sure we'll hear more soon. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
See you next
See you guys
time.
later.